You know, when we think about communication, it's so easy to get hung up on just the words we choose. But what if I told you there's a whole other layer to it, a kind of secret music packed into every single thing you say? Today, we're going to explore why how you say something is often way more important than what you actually say.
Okay, think about this for a second. Imagine someone says to you, "You seem happy." Now, is that a genuine observation? Or is it just dripping with sarcasm? The words are identical, but the meaning could be the complete opposite. So how on earth do we tell the difference?
Well, the answer isn't something you can look up in a dictionary. It's all in the music. It's the melody, the rhythm, and the punch you put on certain words. All the stuff you do without even thinking about it. And this whole musical side of our language, it actually has a name, and it's the key to this whole puzzle.
And that name is prosody. Now I know, it sounds a little bit technical, but all it really means is the rhythm, stress, and intonation of speech. Basically, it's not what you say, but how you say it. It's the entire toolkit that turns boring old words into rich, meaningful communication.
So let's dive into this secret language a little deeper. Prosody is like this invisible framework that gives our words their real power. It's what transforms a simple string of sounds into something that actually connects with another person.
And we use it for everything, all day long. It's how we show we're happy or sad. It's that little vocal wink that signals we're being sarcastic. It's the reason we know a question is a question. It even helps us organize our thoughts with little pauses here and there. It's a tool we are all using constantly, without even realizing it.
To really get a grip on this, we can actually break prosody down into 4 key pieces. And to stick with our music analogy, you can think of these as the main instruments in the symphony of your speech. Let's call them the 4 Ps.
First up is pitch. This is the melody of your voice, the way it naturally rises and falls. You know how your voice tends to go up at the end of a question? That's pitch. And when you make a statement, it usually goes down. It's one of the most basic ways we shape the meaning of our sentences. Next, we've got pace. This is all about the tempo of your speech. Think about it. When you get really excited or nervous, you tend to talk faster, right? But if you want to make a serious point, you slow it down. The speed you choose can totally change the entire mood of a conversation.
The third instrument is power. This one's all about stress and volume. By making a certain word just a little bit louder or punching it with more energy, you're basically shining a spotlight on it. You're telling your listener, hey, this word is the important one. And that can completely change the meaning of everything.
And finally, our last one, pause. Sometimes, the most important part of speaking is the not speaking. Strategic silences help us break our speech down into bite-sized chunks, giving the listener a second to process and creating clear little boundaries between ideas. It's basically the punctuation of spoken language.
So, we have our 4 instruments: pitch, pace, power, and pause. Now for the really cool part. Let's see how they all work together to build these complex layers of meaning that can change everything about the words we use. Take this simple little sentence. On the screen, it looks pretty straightforward, but using just one of our tools, power, we can make this one sentence have a whole bunch of different meanings. Let's give it a try.
So what if we put the stress on I? I never said she stole my money. Instantly, the meaning is clear. I didn't say it, but the strong suggestion is that somebody else did. The whole focus shifts to me denying it. Okay, now let's just shift that power over a little bit. I never said she stole my money. See how that changes things? Now I'm not accusing her, I'm hinting that some other person is the real thief. It's amazing, isn't it?
All right, one more. What if we stress stole? I never said she stole my money. Now the implication is completely different. Maybe she just borrowed it, or maybe I gave it to her. The point is, the act of stealing is what's being denied. Same words, totally different story, all thanks to a little bit of power.
And pitch works in a very similar way. Just listen to the difference here. You're coming to the party. My pitch goes down, that's a statement of fact. But if I say, you're coming to the party, my pitch rises, and boom, it's instantly a question. The only thing that changed was the melody of my voice.
So since prosody is obviously so important, what happens when someone has trouble controlling it? Well, this is a reality for people with prosody disorders, and it can have a huge impact on their ability to communicate.
These kinds of challenges can make just talking to people incredibly hard. I mean, when the music of your speech is sort of flat or unpredictable, it might lead to a monotone voice that can't really convey emotion. It can make it hard to signal questions or put emphasis in the right place, which leads to all kinds of misunderstandings. It really drives home how much we rely on this stuff every single day.
But here's the really great news. For most of us, prosody is a communication superpower that we can actually learn to control with a little more intention. Just by becoming aware of it, you can make your own communication clearer, more engaging, and a whole lot more effective.
So, what can you do? Well, first, just start to become aware of it. Notice the 4 Ps in your own voice. Second, start to listen more actively. Not just to what people say, but to how they're saying it. You'll start to pick up on all these little nuances you might have missed before. And finally, be intentional. When you really want to emphasize a point, consciously use a little power. When you want to be more engaging, play with your pitch and pace.
Because when it comes right down to it, your words are only half the story. The music you create with your voice tells the rest. It shows your emotions, your real intentions, your focus. So the next time you speak, just ask yourself, what is my voice really telling the world?